Hello everybody, welcome to my second tutorial on how to make a social network on my channel. Program for SA. It sounds dumb when I say it, but okay. Anyway, let's get straight to the point. Now last time I told you guys the requirements, what we're going to require in order to create our website. Now there was one requirement that I forgot to tell you guys about, and that is Notepad plus plus. So with this Notepad plus plus, you can basically download any version, but it's only for Windows though. So if you're on Mac or Linux, you should find a text editor that's compatible with your platform. Okay, so if you're on Windows, you can download it from notepadplus.org/download. So okay, now that you got that out of the way, let's get straight to why I am making this video. So today I am going to start with our website. We're going to start making the register page. Now what we're going to do today is making the heading of the register page, so the navigation bar. So let me show you. So this is a navigation bar, not this. Let me show you. So I can search anything, go to Google, and I'm going to show you what exactly a header or a navigation bar is. Example, this is a navigation bar. Well, basically all you do is navigate. So this is what people are going to use to navigate through your website. Okay, so without further ado, let's start with our navigation bar. So first of all, the first thing you have to do when developing on when we're going to develop is open XAMPP. Now it might be a bit slow on my PC because I have an old PC and I'm recording, and yeah, I don't have that much RAM as well, so just bear with me. Oh no, I pressed on the wrong application. Come on, XM. Oh, not Microsoft. Ugh, I hate when this happens. Oh, so I've got it open here. So just, it's gonna open here. I don't know what they call this. So just open this and double click on it. It's gonna open. And while you wait for it to open, you guys the next thing we're going to do is open Notepad plus plus. Note plus plus. Okay, so that's gonna open. Going to wait. I apologize again, guys, for my very slow PC. Anyway, so a new tab like this is going to open up if you're doing the same thing as me. So it's going to open up, it's going to say new one. Now when you in Notepad plus plus, just save it. Go up here, save, and now navigate to your C drive. So just navigate to your hard drive, and where you're going to see wherever you installed, you should navigate to wherever you installed XAMPP. So in my case, XAMPP is installed on my C drive, and click on that. And then when you in XAMPP, just click htdocs, and in htdocs, this is all my projects. Now before you save this document, it's recommended for you to make a new folder. So you can make it in here as well. So I'm going to make a new folder called. So now you have to pick the name for your website, and my website's name is going to be, okay, let's click new. Ugh, slow computer. The life of a 15-year-old boy. Okay, anyway, it took its time. So new folder, and I'm going to name mine I don't know, be social, be social, be social, and click enter and click on into that folder and save the document as index.php. Now what this index.php does, why you should name it index. You can basically name it anything, but for your front page you should name it index.php because, well, when so let's say I'm going to google.com. So what the browser does, it goes to this domain name and it searches through the host. So the Google has a host and it searches through the directory, the main directory, which is htdocs probably, and it finds the first the default page it will open is index.php. So it finds index.php and opens it, so that you don't have to, every time you're visiting Google, you don't have to go google.co.za/index.php. So you don't have to do that, so you just do this. Okay, anyway, now after you're done saving this, let's see, now when ximp is open, so ximp, so just start Apache. So Apache is the server we're going to be hosting our website on, and it runs on port 80. So a lot of people is going to get this problem, port 80, in use by unable to open process, whatever. So if you get this, the way I solve mine is by navigating to my start, searching, or going to cmd, right click on cmd. So you right click on it. Oh, come on. Are you kidding me? Whatever. So okay, let's try that again. cmd. My computer's a bit slow today, I don't know. Okay, so and then you right click on cmd and press run as administrator, and there's going to be a prompt at any time. So and then press yes, and okay, and then what you do is type in iis reset dash stop. Now this stops the program that's running on port 80, so Apache can then run on port 80. So currently the port is blocked by this program ISS, and it's gonna return internet services successfully stopped, and just exit and try and start Apache again. This time it should work. Now while it's opening, the first thing we're going to do, so today I said we're going to make a heading, or rather a navigation bar. So head so I'm going to explain to you, for those of you who are not familiar with HTML, what this means is these two tags are basically telling your browser, be it Face, be it Microsoft Edge or Google Chrome or Internet Explorer, it's telling your browser that this is an HTML document. And your head, this I will explain later on, and your body, this is where all your website content goes. So okay, so these two we're going to be exploring later on. So now check again. Okay, so now you see if this Apache module Apache is green, it means it is working, it is open, and it has started, and just exit that. Now we're going to start with our navigation bar. Now to create our navigation bar, first of all, we're going to need what is called a CDN. Now to get the CDN, Content Delivery Network, the CDN, W3 School, just go to w3schools.com. Well, I don't know the CDN out of my head, so every time so what the CDN we're going to be getting is the Bootstrap CDN and the jQuery CDN, and what that enables us to do is to use jQuery programming language and the Bootstrap programming language. So that's all it actually does. And when you get the CDN, you must put it in between these two head tags. So that is what that is for. And when you here, just click on tutorials and go navigate to Bootstrap. And go to get started. That's where the CDN is at. And this is also a very useful resource if you ever want to learn a programming languages and if you ever want to learn programming in general, this is very useful. So anyway, get started and get the CDN. Where is the CDN? I use Bootstrap history. So Bootstrap was introduced in 2011 on GitHub. Okay, so the CDN, Bootstrap CDN, so the Content Delivery Network. So you just copy this and go into here and just paste it in between these two head. So what these are called, these words that are embedded in the greater than and less than sign, these are called HTML tags. These are tags, so embedded in between these two head, this head and that head HTML tag. Okay, so once that is done, let's start with our navigation bar. Now the first thing you do is okay, so you nav. So this is the first thing you do, nav. Now if you notice what is going on in this HTML document, every time we write an HTML tag, there is always a replica of it, but with just a backslash. Now what this means is create a navigation tag and close the navigation tag. So create the body and close the body, create the HTML document and close the HTML document. So that's what this means, and it's very essential. If you don't use it, it might break your HTML document or cause errors. And in this nav tag, what we're going to do is div class is equal to, and in between these quotation marks you write nav space navbar and navbar we're going to do. So there's two type of navigation bars, navbar default and navbar inverse. So the navbar inverse makes your navigation bar look blackish, and the navbar inverse makes it look just a grayish whitish color. So we're going to use default because we don't want it to be black. And div, just close the div tag, and in between oh sorry, okay, so just I wrote this in the wrong place. So just copy this class and everything inside of it, just copy it, and instead of writing it in the div tag, write it in the nav tag. So that's what is done. And in here you write class is equal to container fluid. Now what this container fluid means, container fluid basically means the navigation bar must span the whole width of the screen and just not half or quarter. And you get container fluid and then you get container. If you use container, it's gonna have like a border, so it will be from here till there, while container fluid is from the edge till the other edge. So we're going to use container fluid, and let's just save a document by pressing just save it, and go back into your browser. Now we don't need this anymore, and just type in local host slash, and what did you name the folder that you saved your website in? What did I name my folder? So be social. It's taking a bit long, but it's going to load. At some point it will load. Okay, so okay, now in this, what you do is, now that you got this sorted out, what you do is create UL. Now what this means, the UL means unordered list. So you're going to make a list, kind of a list, and in between this UL you write class, yes, and nav slash space navbar nav, and in between these two you write li and close the li, and this li means list. So it's basically list element, it's a list element, and in between this you write a, and now this is a link. This a means this list element is going to be a link. Okay. Okay, so so what you would do here is write home. Let's just test this out. Home. Okay, so now I don't think you guys can actually see this, but now I have a fully functional navigation bar which says home, but that is not what you want now, is it? Now just delete everything in here. So just to recap, this means this is a list element, and this means that that list element is going to be a link to somewhere, and in between this href tag we have an h. Now instead of an h we can put something like google.com, and it will be a link to google.com. Well, so what we can do is http/google.com. So that's what it wants, http/google.com. Okay, so after you have deleted this, so you can see that it's currently going, if you can see here at the bottom, and here it's going to google.com, so that's a link for you guys. And okay, so now back to the topic. Delete this link, this list element, and just delete it, and leave this blank. So just leave this, and before this, on top, or rather on top of it, just okay, so the reason I'm doing this is to make my code look a bit neater. So you just press tab, and yeah, so that's the reason we do this. Is called indentation, and we do this to make our code look more presentable, neater, and readable. So okay, now we're going to make a title for our navigation bar. Now how you do that is div, close the div tag, and give it a class of, you're gonna give it a class of navbar header. And now in between this div tag you're going to write a href, the link h. This is to, when you write in h, it tells the link that you are going nowhere when you click on that link, and you give that link a class of navbar brand, and just close that. And in between this this a tag, the link tag, you write in. So my website's name is Be Social, So I'm gonna write be social. I think it's a nice name. So localhost, we're going to localhost be social. And when we go there, I hope I didn't do anything wrong. Uh, okay, so now you see that you got a heading, be social, and now we can okay, so this is my heading, my website's heading. It doesn't look very nice, but it's mine. So I'll just make it be social. Social. Yeah, I think that will do. Yeah, be social. And now the last thing we need to do is inside this unordered list tag, inside the class after navbar nav, just type in, okay, now I don't think we need this anymore. No, we don't need this anymore, so just delete this, and rather what you're going to do is write form role is equal to form. And what this does is tells the HTML document that the role of this form, well, is to be a form. And what a form is, like, let's say you're filling in a form for job application. Yeah, it's that kind of form with like putting your name in, your address, and so on. And now we have to give this form a class of, we have to give it a class of navbar right, and another one of navbar form. Now what this does, the navbar right tells us that it's going to make this form float to the right, so it's not going to be next to this, it's going to be to the right. And what this does is tells our browser that our navigation bar is going to be, there's going to be a form in our navigation bar. And now we do div class is equal to form group. Now I can't really tell you guys what this one means because I don't understand it myself. I don't understand why they had to put it this way. Why couldn't they just make it, you know, just input? But okay, this, you must do this. If you don't do it, you'll get some errors in your website. So just do this form group. I can explain what this is. So input type is equal to text. So you're telling your browser that the input type is equal to text. Now there's two type of inputs. There's not two types, but there's the two types we're going to be working with is input type is equal to text and input type is equal to password. So this one tells the browser that you're going to be putting text into the input, and you're going to give it a class of form control form, and it's good. This is going to tell your HTML document that this input tag is going to be a part of this form. And then class, again, every time you want to put a input or button or whatever into your form, it must be wrapped in a form group, div group. And what div means is a division tag, so it divides sections of your websites. And now we're going to make an input with a type of equal to password. Now I'm going to show you in a while what the difference between input type is equal to password and input type is equal to text is. Class is equal to and this should also have form control. Okay, now what you have here is two inputs, the one where you put in your username and the one where you put in your password. And just let's refresh our website and see whether it worked or not. Okay, so now you can see that there is two inputs here, but now there's a problem with our code, and let's just go through our code and see form, we misspelled form group. That's how you can cause errors in your website. Just check for misspellings and now it's perfect. Okay, so now we need to make a button because I mean, we're gonna enter our username and we're gonna enter our password, but how are we going to are we going to log in? I mean, it doesn't make sense, does it? Now we need to make a login button, and what you do is that guess some of you guessed right. We're going to create a div form group again. So anything that's in a form must go in between a form group div, and then in between this button. Now I guess you guys all know what button probably means, because I mean, come on. So this is gonna be a button, and the type is gonna be button. So this is a button. What type of the button? A button. Anyway, and the class of the button is going to be btn. It must, now what you note, what you must understand, it must be exactly as I have it. btn success, no, not success, primary. So btn primary, it must be exactly like this, and then just close that and close your button. Now in between your button, there are two opening and closing button tags. You write login, and let's refresh our web page and see what happens there. Maybe we forgot something, maybe we didn't. I think we forgot form control though. I assume that we forgot form control, and nope, we didn't. We might as well just delete form control and just leave it like that. Now okay, now the last thing I'm gonna teach you guys is so the user is not automatically going to know hey, this I'm gonna type in my username here and I'm gonna type in my password here. I mean, the user could just assume I'm gonna type in my password here and my username here. So how the user identify is by what we call a placeholder, and this is only used in inputs. So placeholder is equal to username. So here by in where you want the user, so if I wanted the user to put the username in here, so I would use a placeholder here, and that will be equal to username. But instead this is going to be equal to password, because I want my user to put in their or his or hers or okay, whatever, his his password in here and his username in here. And what placeholder does, it holds, basically, if you just think about it, and this is pretty self-explanatory. This says I'm gonna hold a place for you, and in that place I'm going to put username and I'm gonna put password, and when you're going to type I'm gonna delete everything in there so you can type. So just refresh your page and see what happened. And now you got username and you got password. Now the user can say, hey, I must type in my username here and my password here. And now now guys, this is a navigation bar. Behold your first social networking actual programming tutorial, navigation bar. And okay, so in the next tutorial what we will be doing is styling, or making the navigation bar look pretty, rather, because it doesn't look so nice now. It doesn't look that attractive. So yeah, thank you for watching. Please support my channel, like, comment and subscribe, and have a good day. Cheers.